This is the ROVE Ultimate 3-lead hardwire kit, and on this video I'll be showing you its features and how it works in preparation for installation. I am Alex the Car Guy, and on this channel I review cool car tech and other cool things like dashcams for your cars. So if that is the kind of stuff you like, make sure you subscribe by hitting the button down below to see more videos like this. And as always, I have placed a link in the description to this kit in case you need one. And here are the contents of the ROVE Ultimate Hardwire Kit. Now this kit is meant to be used with ROVE dashcams that use a mini USB connector, and we can see the right angle connector, but because it's a universal kit, it should work with most dashcams that use a mini USB connector. Now this side goes to the dashcam, but how about this side right here? Well, this side goes to the car, and this is what enables that parking monitoring feature that a lot of people want. The first wire is black in color and it's called the ground wire, and this is going to be connected to a metallic portion of the car, typically some kind of screw or bolt that is loosened up. This is inserted, and then we lock down the bolt, giving us ground. Now the next wire is this one right here, which is the red wire. This should go to a positive source of power in the car, and that power source should have power at all times, even when the car is off. Now the next one, the yellow one, accessory, should go to a positive power source in the car, but that only has power when the car is in the accessory mode or fully on. So that's how those three wires are gonna be connected. But we said this one is fairly easy connected because we're gonna put it underneath a screw or a bolt. But how about these two? How are we gonna connect these two to the fuse box of our car? Well, this kit is probably one of the most complete kits that I've seen because it includes what we call fuse taps. And fuse taps allow us to connect these wires directly to our fuse box. So here's one of them. We're gonna pull an original fuse from our car, and in place of that fuse, we're gonna insert one of these fuse taps. Now the fuse tap, what it does, it allows us to connect two fuses into one fuse location in the box. And as we can see, the fuse already has been loaded or preloaded by ROVE, and then that's feeding the yellow wire, and the yellow wire goes to the yellow wire like so. So that's how we can connect the accessory power by tapping directly into our fuse. Now remember, we pulled a fuse from the fuse box, so the original fuse has to be reinserted in here, so you'll have two fuses on here. And same thing for the red one, they include another set of fuse taps, so I'm gonna just grab one for demonstration purposes. Again, I pulled a fuse from the fuse box, insert this in there, take the original fuse, place it into the fuse tap, and then connect this to the hardwire kit. So now we can connect all three wires very easily to our car. Now, why do we have so many fuse taps? The fuse taps are actually different sizes. Now, there are some larger fuses and there are some small fuses used in today's cars. So the reason why they give us 4 different sizes is so we can select the right size. So we don't need all of them. Our car may only need the little ones. And if it only needs the little ones, that's it. We can either throw these ones away or keep them for maybe for use in another car. But that is really cool that they included all those fuse tabs because different car manufacturers use different fuse sizes. And to separate this, if for some reason we plugged in the incorrect one, we can just pull these things right off like that. Now, what else did they include in the kit? Well, they included the stream installation tool. Now, this is just a simple piece of plastic, but this makes life a lot easier because when we are hiding this wire into the trim of our car, we can pull panels to hide the wire, or we can use this tool to push the wire underneath the panels of the car, eliminating or reducing the amount of panels that we have to pull. So this makes life a lot easier. They include a zip ties. Zip ties are always good to tie up any extra cables, wire clips to hold any cables. But not only that, this is my favorite part. They include this nice small meter. Now what are we gonna use this meter for? Well, we said that we have to look for one cable or one power source that has power all the time and one that only has power when we turn the car on. Now normally it's easy to find out which one that is by looking at the manual and looking for things like the power windows. The power windows are only gonna work when the power is switched to on, So the power windows will be probably a good place to connect the yellow one. The red one will probably be connected to something like the memories for the radio, right? The radio stations, the presets in your car will be lost if the radio doesn't get power all the time. So this one will be good, that will be a good candidate to connect it to the memory of, power memory of the radio of our car. But even though the manual says that that's what those things do, how do we confirm it? That's where the meter comes in. And we'll plug this into the car to see how it actually works and how it can confirm which fuses do in fact have power all the time, or only when the car is turned on, and that will confirm the location of this. Now, if you already have a voltmeter, you won't technically need this, but I have a voltmeter and I found it easier to use this tool. But what about these little switches right here? Now, a lot of hardwire kits don't have a lot of ability to configure them, which means that this is just a box and that's all you get. They're configured at the factory. The ROVE Ultimate Hardwiring Kit does have some very small switches, and they're probably gonna be easy to move with the tool. Oh yeah, definitely. The only way to reach in there is with this tool or with some other kind of screwdriver or pointy thing in here. But what they are, the first one is the parking mode switch. For ROVE dash cams, ROVE says that it should be left on the left hand side where it says default, and ROVE says that most dash cams will correctly enable the parking mode by leaving the switch on the left hand side. If the parking mode does not come on when the switch is on the left hand side, then they say to try the right hand side, and right now I put it on the right hand side. But how about this? This is probably gonna be the most helpful, one of the most helpful things on this particular kit, and that is this ability to select at what point do we want this kit to stop supplying power to the dash cam. And that is important because if this kit were to continually stay on, it will eventually drain the battery of the car. So they have put an automatic shut off on here, and you tell it exactly when do you want it to turn off. As you can see, the very first option is 12.4 volts, so that is the highest option. If the battery gets around 12.4, yeah, then it's gonna say, okay, I better shut off. But if I move this all the way to the extreme left, that is gonna be 11.8 volts. So that now we're pushing it. Now we're saying, well, keep going, and hopefully I still have energy and enough power in my battery at 11.8 to start the car. Well, the safest, you can think of it this way, the safest way to play this is having the switch all the way to this way should give us for sure certainty that, yeah, the battery should never be drained because we're playing it very safe by not letting it drop too low. If you are of the adventurous type and you have a battery that is fairly new and you're like, nah, my battery is tough, built tough like Ford, then you can go all the way to the left side, and that is gonna pull even more power until it gets to 11.8. Now 11.8 should still have enough power to turn the car on. And here's the beauty of the ROVE Probe. As you can see, I have it connected to this side right here. I just clamped it onto here. Now with the probe, I can touch, remember the red one should have power all the time. I'm gonna touch the fuse and we can see that it lights up. And so the car is off right now, so that means I have power. And I can actually read on here, it says 12.4. So not only does it tell me the power is on, it tells me how much power I have. Now the yellow one, we know it should only have power when the car is on. The car is off right now, so this should not light up. And let's touch it. And sure enough, it does not light up. So it makes it very easy to confirm which is the right location before installing the fuse steps. Now the same could be done with a voltmeter, but the voltmeter requires two hands for me to probe and select the voltage, and it also requires that I know how to use a voltmeter, where to turn this dial. So I think the probe makes the job a lot easier over a voltmeter for its simplicity of use. And now that you're familiar with the hardwire kit, I have a more in-depth video on the actual hardwire installation, and I have placed a link in the description down below if you want to check that video out. And if you have any questions regarding the ROVE Ultimate Hardwire Kit, also please put them in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up button to support the channel, And I have a lot more cool gadgets coming up and other reviews for car tech. So make sure you guys stay tuned by subscribing. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.